Hello everyone, welcome to day 4 of 15 days of DAX. Today we explore date and time functions that help manipulate and analyze dates in DAX. These functions are essential for time-based calculations like aging, comparisons, and forecasting. The first function we are going to see is today. It returns the current date. Today's date is equal to today. The today function returns the current system date without the time. It updates automatically when the dataset is refreshed. It is commonly used in aging calculations to determine the difference between today and past dates. The use case of this function is to calculate number of days since an order was placed. The next function is now. It returns the current date and time. Current date time is equal to now. The now function returns the current system date and time. It updates automatically during the data refresh, and it is useful for real-time calculations in dashboards. It is similar to today but includes time. The use case of this function is to track the last refresh time. Here are four main functions that are related to today's date and time. First one is today, which gives today's date. Next one is UTC today, which will give you the UTC date. Next one is now, which will give you today's date and time. And last one is UTC now, which will give you today's UTC date and time. UTC refers to Coordinated Universal Time. It is a primary time standard globally used to regulate clocks and time. It establishes a reference for current time, forming the basis for civil time and time zones. It facilitates international communication, navigation, scientific research, and commerce. The next function we are going to look at is DATEDIFF, which calculates the difference between two dates in a specific unit. Days since order is equal to DATEDIFF. Here we are trying to find the difference between order date and today's date in terms of number of days. The DATEDIFF function returns the difference between two dates. It allows specifying units like day, month, year, etc., and it is commonly used for calculating time gaps in reports. The use case of this function is to find the number of days since a customer's last purchase. Here is an example to understand date diff. We have two variables which stores the start date and end date, and we are trying to get the difference between the start date and end date in terms of years, quarters, months, weeks, and days. So we are using date diff, start date, end date, and year. Similarly, for quarter, we need to mention quarter, for months, month, for weeks, week, and for days, day. The difference between these two dates in terms of years is 2, in terms of quarters is 9, similarly for month, week, and day. Next, we are going to see EOMONTH function, which returns the last day of the month for a given date. End of month is equal to EOMONTH, sales order date 0. The EOMONTH function returns the last date of the month for a given date. It can shift months forward or backward using the second argument. It is useful for monthly reporting and forecasting. The use case of this function is to find the last day of the month for billing cycles. Let's try to understand EOMONTH function using this example. Here we have date column and we are trying to get the end of month for date. So here if you observe, we are specifying as 0. 0 means it will give the current month's end date, plus 1 means it will give the next month's end date, minus 1 means it will give the previous month's end date for the given date. If we look at the example, first we can see that EOMONTH 0 will give the last date of current month. EOMONTH plus 1 will give last date of next month. EOMONTH minus 1 will give the last date of previous month. I hope you understood this example. Next, we are going to look at year. Year function extracts the year from a given date. Order date is equal to year sales order date. It extracts year from order date. The year function returns the year from a date column. It is used to create year-based calculations in reports, works well with other date functions for filtering and grouping. The use case of this function is to summarize sales data by year in a report. The following example returns 2007, which is basically extracting year from given date. The following example returns the year from today's date. Today will give today's date and year will give year of today's date. The last function for today is weekday function, which returns the day of the week for a given date. Order weekday is equal to weekday sales order date 2. The weekday function returns the number representing the day of the week. Second argument, which is a number, defines the start of the week. 1 means the week starts from Sunday. 2 means the week starts from Monday. It is useful for analyzing sales trends by day of the week. The use case of this function is to identify which day of the week has the highest sales. Let's see this example in order to understand how to use weekday function. We have date column in date table and we are trying to get the weekday of the given date. If we do not specify a second argument, default is 1 and 1 means the start day of the week is Sunday. If we specify 2, start day of the week is Monday. If we specify 3, that means 0 is Monday. If we specify 11, 1 is Monday. If we specify 12, start day of the week is Tuesday. The week starts from Sunday. So that's why Sunday is 1 and Saturday is 7. Similarly, if we specify 1 as an argument, that will give the same result. If we specify 2 as an argument, then Monday will be the starting day of that week and Sunday will be the ending day of that week. Similarly, you can see for all remaining examples. This is the challenge for today. You need to calculate the number of days left until the end of the month for each order in the data set. Create a calculated column that returns the remaining days in the month for each order date. Days left in month is equal to DATEDIFF. We need to take order date column as the first argument, end of month as the second argument, day because we need that in days. EOMONTH function will find the last day of the month for each order date. DATEDIFF function will calculate the number of days between order date and month's end date. This will return the remaining days in the month for each order. Now we are going to see the implementation of these functions in Power BI Desktop. I have sales orders table with a few rows and I have some card visuals which I have created. The first card visual will show us the current date. It is created using today. You can see that it is still showing the time, but that time is always 12 a.m. And you can change the format of this to show only the date. The second card visual will show the current date time created using now function. It shows us today's date and current time. The next function we are going to look at is end of current month. We are using today function and we are trying to get the end of month for current month. Since we are specifying 0, this will give us the current month's end date. Current month is March and end date is 31st. If we specify -1, this will give us previous month's end date. If I click enter, you can see that this is updated to previous month's end date. If I enter +1, it will give me the next month's end date. You can see the next month's end date. The next function is year function. Inside year function, I am using today in order to get the current year. It will extract the year from today's date. Here I have created a calculated column for delivery days. DATEDIFF function will give the difference between the start date and end date. Here we are taking the difference between order date and delivery date, and we need the output in days, so we need to specify day here. The next column is order weekday. This will give us the weekday by taking the order date column. When we specify 1, it means starting day of the week is Sunday and ending day of the week is Saturday. That is why if it is Saturday, it will be 7. If it is Tuesday, it will be 3. The next column is order year. We are extracting the year from order date column. So from order date, it will extract year. So output is 2024. Okay everyone, that is all in this video. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.